Hello, yogis, and welcome to a very special practice. So, this practice is designed to move through grief and loss. I have found that there isn't a lot of things out there to support you when you experience a loss. And a loss can be so many things. A loss of a loved one, a friendship ending, losing a job, moving, divorce, the list goes on. You know, when we lose a loved one, we're given 3 days, and only if it's certain people, right? It's pretty outdated, I believe, as the nuclear family is just not standard. What about all this other type of loss that we experience? You know, I just feel like so much of it where you just are given a pat on the back and you're allowed maybe 2 days to talk about it with friends and family, and then without you being annoying, and then sort of like you have to move on, right? So it's really my hope that this practice helps you move through the emotions that come with loss, you know, the shock, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and the finally acceptance of the loss, any type of loss. And there just are so many losses I feel like we're just not allowed to talk about. It's not okay to talk about. Guilt and shame, so many emotions through it. So my hope is through this practice, and I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, you're going to move through whatever stage that you're at, whenever you're at whatever time, because grief is not linear. Grief and loss, you know, there's two things that I've really heard that have connected with me, that have stayed with me as I've dealt with situations. And the first one is grief is unexpressed love. And so it really is kind of beautiful. And we never, we never lose the grief or loss that we have. We really just grow around it. So I'm hoping that we can grow together. I can't promise that I'm not going to cry during today's practice, and you may too. And you know, I'm a real human, just like you are, that experience these real things. And yeah, so I know that was a long intro for today's practice. And don't forget to have things to support yourself through practice today. Blocks will be wonderful, or just big books, a towel or a yoga strap, a blanket or a towel for your knees. And then I am going to talk about the essential oil blend that I made today to support the 7 chakras, which we'll talk a little bit about today, and how they relate to the stages of grief and how we can use those energy centers to move through grief. So this blend has frankincense, patchouli, vetiver, cedarwood, sandalwood, clary sage, rosemary, and lavender. And it kind of goes, you use the most to the least, and it just makes a really beautiful blend. If you don't have essential oils, it's okay. If you have one you like, that's okay too. You know, this also has a carrier oil with it, so coconut oil. So we're starting seated. Sit up on a block, pillow, blanket, and if you have an oil, just breathing it in. And breathing out. And 2 more, breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing in. And breathing out. And just sitting up nice and tall. Relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes or soft gaze down. And, you know, I'm sure that there's a grief or a loss that you feel in your body right now. And I just want you to connect with that. Whatever it is. And there can be multiple things as well. feel uncomfortable. Mine feels very uncomfortable right now, and it's okay to sit with it. I'm here. You're in a safe space here. You're in between the four corners of your mat. We're just going to take everything else that's outside of us, outside of the four corners of our mat, and just put it in a little drawer and shut the drawer. It'll be there when we're done with practice today. Taking a deep breath in again, and just a really audible exhale through the mouth. And 2 more of those, breathing in. Exhaling this energy. And 1 more, breathing in. And exhale. Just be where you are. Feel what you feel. Whether it's still denial, feeling severed from your feeling anger, shame, guilt, sadness, lost, even if you are moving towards acceptance. Feel what you feel. And put a hand on your heart and just nod your chin down. And just dedicating this practice to what you need. Taking modifications as you need through practice, taking time to rest as you need through practice today, and let the emotions move through. And then just coming back up to sit nice and tall. It's like you're almost like, I always feel like there's like a pole coming through my spine here. And the other thing we want to make sure we don't do is dump the hips forward or backwards. And I am sitting on a block, so I want to pull my belly button in. I'm going to lift my ribs away from my hips a little bit and sit up super tall. And we're going to breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 2 more cycles on your own. Breathing in for 4, holding for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, and holding for a count of 4. 1 more time. And just open your eyes or soft gaze down, or you can even keep them closed and just start to roll the shoulders. Remember, it doesn't matter what way you go first, because we're going to go both. Just as big as you can, shoulder rolls. And then we'll reverse the direction of those rolls. Nice and big. And then inhale, bringing the shoulders up towards those ears. And big exhale, release. And then just let your ear drop towards the shoulder. It doesn't matter which side, again, because we're going to do both. Try to relax your shoulders. My neck is very, very tight. And now you're just going to look towards your armpit. However big or small that movement is, it doesn't matter. It just should not have any pain. And then we're going to bring that ear back to the shoulder. And lift up, and then we'll just go to the other side, ear to shoulder. Ooh. Relax, 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 and then looking down towards your armpit. And then ear back to shoulder. And back to center. Just kind of shake everything out. Give your head a little shake and all that good stuff. I need to just adjust on my seat, so whatever you need to do, we're sitting up nice and tall. Breathing in, we're going to lift our arms up overhead. And breathing out, you're going to interlace your fingertips and put them behind your head. And if that's too much, you can come out to your ears. You can even just hold on to your shoulders. So picking what works best for you. Just breathing here, and notice notice if you tipped forward or tipped back. I tipped forward a little bit, so center your pelvis, pulling that belly button in, just feeling space through the heart. And I want you to breathe in again, and then I want you to take your right elbow towards your left knee, and then come back up as you breathe in. Breathe out other side. So I'm going nice and easy to start, breathing in, and then breathing out. And each time I'm breathing out, I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to my knee. So I'm breathing in, I'm exhaling, pulling my navel in, and reaching up, breathing out as I round in my spine. And you may never touch the knee, and that's not the point. It's about getting strong in our center, connecting with our center, and that energy there. We're just going to do one more to each side. And last one. Coming back to center, breathe in, open, 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 maybe look up. Now like a butterfly, close your wings and round your back. Maybe the elbows touch, maybe they don't. Again, not important. Breathe in and open up your wings. Open your heart, breathe out and close. Breathe in, it can feel uncomfortable to open the heart, but bring it in, bring the energy in, and as you breathe out, know that you're safe. And one more. Inhale, open up, and exhale. And then you're just going to come back to center and release down. So I'm sitting up on a block, so I am going to move my block away, but somewhere where I can find it again. And I'm going to come to a diamond shape pose. So it's like butterfly, but more extended. So my feet are all the way out to here. You may not be able to see them. Let me see if I can scooch back and make that a little better there. So a nice diamond shaped posture. We're sitting up still nice and tall for me. As you breathe in, it's like you want to open your heart through your arms, your upper arms there, and then breathe out and round the back. And I'm holding onto my shins here. Breathe in, open and look up. Breathe out, round, and really drop the head, the chin towards the chest, excuse me. Breathe in and open. Breathe out and round. One more, breathing in. And breathing out. You're going to keep this rounding of the spine, and just use your hands to walk yourself forward any amount so you're nice and rounded. And I want you to think about here how you're connected to the earth. So our root chakra in the stages of grief is where it's what connects us, is what roots us, and it can feel so severed. So I want you to just breathe here and ask yourself, how are you feeling anchored? Are you feeling severed? And there's no judgment. Am I connected? Can I feel this energy from really my belly button, a little bit lower than that, just kind of connecting deep down into the earth and holding me safe. And it's a nice red line. Our root chakra is a deep red. So just imagining, envisioning that as we breathe here. And then you're just going to lift up. And again, you're envisioning this red light below your belly button. And we're going to just twist over to our right side. So that hand comes to the knee. And just a gentle twist. Breathe in and lengthen. Now as you breathe out, it's like you're trying to wring out a towel, twisting maybe a little deeper. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, wring it out. Wring out all the energy that's being blocked right there, or the blockage energy. Breathe in one more time. And breathe out, twist. And as you come back to center, as you breathe in, feel like an vitality infusion in your root. And then we're just going to twist to the other side. Breathing in, sitting tall, and breathing out as we twist and look over our shoulder. Breathing in tall, breathing out, releasing. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. wring that towel. And one more time, breathe in and breathe out. And then we're gonna just gently come back to center as we breathe in. We feel that infusion. We're gonna feel ourselves connected down into the earth, and just use your hands to bring your knees together. And you can use a block to put in between your legs, or I'm gonna imagine I have $100 bill in between my thighs there, and I'm squeezing, so I'm very active right here. I'm feeling myself pushed down, being supported into the ground, and now I'm gonna call on my sacral chakra that is just right towards that belly button area, and it's bright orange. So now there's a fire happening in our belly, and that sacral is where we can feel the anger and the shame and the guilt. And so now I want to fire that up, and I want to release it. So I'm going to lift one leg up. I can hold on right beneath my knee, and this could be enough. And you can switch legs as you want, or I can lift both legs up, squeeze that $100 bill, and I'm holding on underneath my knee joints, or I can even let go. And that's really tough. So you pick your level, you squeeze your block or your $100 bill. You're feeling connected and you're breathing, and there's a fire starting in your belly. And you may feel some of that anger and that guilt and that shame. And I want you to now drop it down, open the legs, and let it go. We're gonna come back up, we're gonna stoke that fire again, so we're coming into boat pose. So take your variation of boat, hold and build that fire, let the energy build, feel it. We have to feel it to move through it. Build, 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 and then drop, open the knees, and last time, lifting up here, holding into boat pose. Squeeze that money. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And drop and exhale. And then coming up, nice and easy. And you're just gonna extend your legs long, and I'm gonna turn to the side here, just so you can see me a little bit better. And this would be a great place for a towel or a belt or a strap. Whatever you have is perfect. And you can also sit up on a little blanket or a little pillow, especially if you have tight hamstrings, that'll be really helpful. And I want you to flex your feet, and you can see my knees are bent. And your knees can be bent more or less than mine. So now I want to talk a little bit about the solar plexus chakra, which is kind of right in the middle. It's yellow, and it's our ego, it's our willpower. So a lot of times with our ego and grief and loss, it can be lost, it can get in the way. Ego, there's a lot I could say, but it's going to be personal. And probably when I said it, whatever came up for you, that's what you need to sit with. Are you identifying yourself by your grief or your loss? Are you trying to overshot your personality to make up for the loss? Be bigger. But it could be something in between. It could be nothing at all. You lost yourself, And so forward fold is an ego-driven pose in yoga. So why we're doing this pose in our warm-up is we need to let the ego go to the side and be with who we are, So, so many times in yoga, people think it's, I gotta put my head to my legs. No, that's not what it's about. So I want you to sit up nice and tall, and I'm holding my strap. And you're getting loose just by holding this pose. And we're gonna keep our back nice and long. So pretend almost like I put a metal rod in your spine, and you're gonna hinge forward at your hip, and when your hamstrings stay high, that's where you stop. My head is nowhere near my legs, and I feel a stretch here. And we're gonna hold and breathe, and you're going to monitor yourself. So maybe on your exhales you can lower a little bit. Maybe you can extend the legs a little bit, but what I don't want to happen is you to round your spine. So if that happens, you've gone too far, and you need to reset, lengthen that spine, and hinge from the hip. And we're breathing, and I want you to look at your feet and flex your toes towards your face. So that might be, I gotta back out a little bit, and that's okay. It's ego-driven, very much, because you think it should look and be a certain way, and that's not what it is at all. It's about how you feel. You know, the solar plexus is where we can give our power away. We can give our power away to our grief, to our loss. It's easy to do, you know, because we're just trying to get through, you know. We're only allowed to be sad for a little bit. And I'm here to say you're allowed to be sad and angry and feel severed and, you know, be bargaining and be lost for as long as you need. And you can cycle, and it's okay. And if people have a problem with it, that reflects on them and not on you and your grief and your experience and your feelings. Feelings are real. And now you're just going to let yourself come up. You're going to release that to the side, and we're going to come to our hands and our knees. So if you like to have a blanket under your knees, this is where you'd want to grab that and put it underneath your knees. And we're going to come to tabletop position. So we're stacking our shoulders and our wrist, our knees and our hip. Our knees are 1 to 2 fists apart. And we're suction cup with those arms. So spread your fingertips and feel like you're sucking that mat in. And then feel like somebody's kind of pulling your head and your booty apart. So you're nice and long. And then lift your belly button up like someone's going to poke you in the belly, and you don't want them to. So we're very active. You're pressing the tops of your feet into your mat here in tabletop. Now, if you've watched the intro video, I hope you have, we're going to clip our wings. So we put the elbows out to our side a little bit. We bring them in and lengthen, and now our arms are super fired up. And we're going to hold this as we breathe in, drop the belly. It's like the heart is coming through the arms again. Shine your Care Bear light. And then tuck your tail, exhale, round the back, drop the crown of the head and cat. Ooh, give it a shake. So we're breathing in, keeping very active as we drop the belly and look up. And breathing out, rounding the spine and dropping the crown of the head. And you're just going to flow here on your own breath. So we're opening the heart. And exhale, it's like we're rinsing it out, releasing. So think of breathing in energy and light and healing, and breathing out the dark clouds, everything holding you back. And you're just going on your breath, your time. So if you're going faster or slower than me, it's okay. Just a couple more here, breathing in and out. One more time, and I'll meet you back into that nice tabletop position. And coming back to center. For child's pose, you can pick big toes together, knees apart, or you can keep the knees together, but we're pushing our hips to our heels no matter what. This might be a place for blocks and a pillow to support you as we come down into child's pose. And the arms can be extended, or if that feels too much, you can put them in goalposts, or you can even bring them down by your sides, palms up. And we're surrendering here. So those areas, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus are really, they're compressed now. You can even, if you like this and you want to reach for your feet, if you're in a traditional child's pose like I am, so I'm not knees wide, I'm together, I can even hold on my feet and I can pull myself into a tiny ball. And I'm squeezing. And I'm shaking a little bit because I'm so pissed, you know? And we're just breathing, and we're creating a fire, and we're feeling the fire, and we're feeling how mad we are. And we're feeling the guilt and the shame and the unfairness. And we're breathing through it. We're breathing through it. I'm here with you. And then we're coming up. It's like we're growing again into a new day. We're releasing. We're going to come back to our tabletop and gently lowering yourself onto your belly. So taking your time to come onto your belly. And your feet are nice and long And your feet are gonna be like hip width apart. So I don't want them as wide as your mat. So your hips are not as wide as you think they are. They're straight down from your hip bone. And your feet are always gonna press into the mat. And then you're squeezing your thighs so your knees lift up. And then you're pushing your hips into the mat. So from like your hip to your toes, very active. And now this is really hard, but release your butt and keep that. Now your hands are gonna be out like big goalposts, elbows up, and you're looking down at your mat. Now on your breath in, you're just gonna lift your head and your chest into a baby cobra. And as you breathe out, you're gonna lower down. Breathe in, open the heart, feel that solar plexus push in. Exhale, release the ego. Breathe in, lift, is maybe what we need to do is forgive. Breathe in, lift, and maybe forgiveness starts with forgiving ourselves. And release all the way down. Bring your hands underneath your armpits and push yourself back up to your tabletop. So, setting up in our tabletop, nice and strong. Let's do our little quick clips of the wings, super active. As we breathe in, we drop the belly, we look up in our cow pose. Tuck the tail, exhale, cat pose. Coming back to center, we're gonna take the hands forward, and then we're gonna stack the shoulders and the wrists, so I'm in knee plank, holding here. You're still clipping, and you can also think about it as like you're trying to open a jam jar too, but your hands aren't moving, they're suction cupping, okay? And your hips aren't too low, they're not too high. Nice diagonal line, pull that navel in. Breathe in, and as we breathe out, I want our elbows to kiss our sides and lower down towards the mat. You're gonna keep your hands where they are, roll your shoulder blades into your back pockets. You're squeezing your thighs so your knees are lifting, tops of the feet are into the mat. Kiss, kiss, kiss those elbows to the side, and then breathe in, lifting the head and chest in baby cobra. And exhale, lower down. And one more baby cobra. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and lower, and push yourself back to child's pose. And keep the arms extended this time. Use your hands to kind of push your hips closer to your heels, and they may not touch, and that's not the point. It's about elongating the spine. We're going to do that little vinyasa flow one more time. So coming back to our tabletop, nice and strong. Inhale, drop the belly. Tuck the tail, exhale. Inhale, neutral spine. Walk the hands forward. Shift on your exhale. Inhale, look over your mat a little bit, and then exhale, elbows come to kiss the sides of the ribs. Roll your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Fire up your legs. Breathe in. Chest and chin lift for baby cobra. Elbows in. Breathe out. Relax your booty. And then coming back to tabletop. We're going to curl our toes here in tabletop. Take a breath to prepare. Breathe out, coming upside down, V, downward facing dog. And then coming right back down. Inhale to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. And coming to table. So now I want to talk a little bit about the alignment of down dog. Just wanted to get used to shifting the hips up and back. So let's go through our nice strong arms. Clip the wings or the jam jars, okay? Belly's in tight, toes are tucked. Breathe in, and as we lift the knees, our chest is going towards our thighs. Our hips are going to the sky. Knees are bent, bent, bent as much as you need. And our toes, our feet are like railroad tracks, and they're hips width apart, okay? And then we're going to drop one heel and bend that opposite knee a little bit more, and then switch, walking the dog, okay? And you can come in and out of down dog as much as you need, okay? We're going to be here for 2 more breaths to walk the dog. And then you're gonna lift up onto both your tippy toes and drop back to table. Everything should be nice and strong as you land. Breathe in, drop the belly, look up, breathe out and round. Breathe in, neutral, curl the toes, breathe out, downward dog, and we're gonna hold for 3 breaths. Maybe you start to lengthen the legs, but what we don't wanna lose is the long spine. So chest towards the thighs, hips towards the sky, heels towards the mat. They never have to touch, it's not what it's all about. And your ears should hit your biceps, okay? Give that head a shake and come right back down. So just take a moment. You can sit back on your heels, you can be on your knees, you can even come to your forearms, and you're just gonna roll out your wrists. So wherever you need to be to feel comfortable to roll out your wrists a little bit. All right, and then coming back to tabletop. And we're gonna just add on, no we're not yet, never mind. We're gonna do that again. So breathe in, drop the belly and look up. Tuck the tail, exhale, drop the head. Inhale to neutral, curl the toes. Exhale, down dog, holding for 3. Holding for 2. And now bend your knees a lot and you're gonna walk your hands towards your feet. And you can do combination if you need to walk the hands forward too, if that's too much and you need to skip it, we're just coming to standing. So however you need to get there is perfect. And I'm gonna face you, but I want you to be at the top of your mat, all right? It's coming into mountain pose. So big toes together, heels apart, or feet parallel railroad track, 1 to 2 fists apart, kind of it's hip width apart is what we're going for. And we start to zip it up. So we feel like someone starts at our toes and is zipping. We feel our legs try to pull apart our mat, squeeze our thighs. We pull that belly in, drop your sacral part of your back. So we don't want to be chicken butt. We want to be and then we roll our shoulder blades into our back pockets and spread. Lifting tall, very strong in mountain pose. Breathe in, lift the arms up. I'm just gonna switch, so as we breathe out, hands come to thighs. You're gonna push your booty back. Let your hands slide all the way down so that you're in a nice forward fold. And the hands can be supported at the floor, on blocks, on shins, on thighs. Where they are, it's not important. It's that your back is feeling a stretch, your hamstrings are feeling a stretch, but it's not painful. And then we're going to have our hands on our thighs no matter where you are to help you as we roll back up to standing. So that was a folding forward. So as we breathe in, we lift up. And as we breathe out, we push that booty back. And we bring our hands to our thighs and we fold forward. And you're engaging those legs so it still feels like you're trying to pull your mat apart. Drop your head, give it a shake. And then roll it up. Again, and I'm going to stay facing the way you are. So breathe in, lift the arms up, maybe look up, and breathe out. I like to bring my hands in Anjali Mudra as I fold forward. And you can do that or you can skip it. Rolling up. This is half sun salutation. Breathing in. Breathing out, maybe bringing the hands to Anjali Mudra, bending the knees as much as you need as you come to forward folding. Breathing in, and then coming back to mountain. So now we're going to add on to have our full Sun A series. And you might be getting warm here, and breathing is going to be, breathing harder, and that's a good thing. So breathe in, lift the arms up. Breathe out, forward fold. Now, we're going to bring our hands to our thighs or our shin, and we're going to flatten our back. You're engaging those legs, so it's like you feel like you're trying to pull your mat apart. Your belly's in tight, and it's like I'm taking a little string of your hair and making sure that you're nice and long in your spine. So this is half forward fold. And now we're just going to fold on our exhale. So dropping down, bend your knees as much as you need to put your hands on the floor or even blocks, okay? And we're going to step back super big, suction cup your hands to downward dog. And we're going to hold for 3. Exhale. Hold for 2. Remember, chest to thigh, hips to sky. Bend the knees as much as you need. Up onto the tiptoes. Come to your tabletop. Nice and strong. Drop the belly. Inhale and look up. Tuck the tail. Exhale and round. Inhale to neutral. Curl the toes again. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we're going to walk our feet back to our hands. Take your time. Make sure your feet are still on railroad tracks, facing forward, hip distance apart. Or you can always have the big toes together, heels apart, alignment, whatever works best. And rolling up. And then we'll just walk back to the front of our mat. We're going to do this 2 more times. So breathing in, lifting the arms up. Breathing out, hinge at the hip, bend the knee, forward fold, drop the crown of the head. Breathing in, hands to thighs or shin, flat back, engage those legs. Breathe out, bend the knees, hands come down, and we step back, suction, cup the hands to down dog. Don't forget about your jam jars. Shake the crown of your head. Make sure your feet are on railroad tracks, hip width apart. Bend those knees as much as you need. Breathe in, lift onto the tippy toes. Breathe out. We come back to our tabletop. Breathe in, drop the belly, look up. Breathe out and round. Breathe in, neutral, curl the toes. Breathe out, downward facing dog, and we hold for 3. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And as we start to breathe out, we walk our hands back towards our feet. Bend those knees and roll it up. Zip it up. And then we come back to the front of our mat. 1 more time for sun A. So we breathe in, lift those arms up. Breathing out, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift, engage those legs. Breathing out, bend the knees, stepping back, suction cup, downward facing dog. And holding for 3, for 2, for 1. Lift up onto the tippy toes, drop back to the knees, settle into your tabletop, drop the belly, look up, cow, exhale, cat, drop the crown of the head, inhale to neutral, curl the toes, and exhale, downward dog, and hold for 3, for 2, and for 1. As you exhale, walking the hands back. We're just going to keep those knees super bent. Grab opposite elbows and just hang. And breathe. It's almost like the rain is just washing over you. And then release, and we'll roll up. Nice and easy. And we'll come back to the top of our mat. And as you find your mountain pose here, nice and strong, so zip it up, engage, belly, shoulder blades. I want you to place a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly. And feel your heart beating. And in the heart chakra is where we can feel sadness from our loss. And it hurts. And here's where a lot of times our tears can help us release the stress hormones that we need to clear this blocked energy here. Just breathing, feeling the beating of your heart, feeling the sadness if it's there, breathing. Then open the eyes if they were closed. Release the hands down, so we're in our mountain pose. And then you're just going to open up, and your toes are going to be turned out, and your heels are going to be turned in, and your feet are wider than your shoulder blades here, okay? And we're going to bring our hands to Anjali Mudra. And as we breathe out, we're going to bend our knees, and it's like our knees are going towards our pinky toe side, so we're opening our knees, and they're lifting up. This is goddess. So as we breathe out, we lower down, we're opening those knees, and we lift up. So in our hips, so the root sacral chakra, you know, where we have that feeling of severing, of anger and shame, and we hold on to it here. So now I'm trying to move that energy with this pose. Just breathing in and out. You're opening the knees, so we're opening the hips. Goddess squat. We're going to do 2 more. Nice and strong. And 1 more. And as you lift up here, I'm going to have you put your hands on your hips. You're going to take your right toes and turn them to the right. So I have a nice line on my mat because I have a Life for Me mat. Helps with my alignment. Now my back leg, I'm going to turn my toes kind of like at a 45-degree angle. So my heel is more on my little line. And I have my heel and my arch kind of in alignment. Now, you can also do heel-to-heel alignment. You can even open up a little bit more. So this is triangle prep. So I want you to open your hips towards me and then drop it back again. So see how that your hips here, and I want you to open it towards me and drop it. And now open it towards me, and we're going to keep it here. And I want you to be a little sassy. Stick your hip out. So you're going to, ooh, and I just got a nice crack. You're going to feel this hip crease push back. Let's do that again. So you're going to lift up. This little hip crease, you push back, you sassy hip. You're going to feel a stretch in your hamstring coming up. So this one, we're going to come right to here. You can put your hand on your thigh or your shin, never the knee, okay? You're opening your heart, and then maybe you lift your arm into triangle pose. So it's not about how low we can go today. It's about, can I twist, can I open, can I feel what's happening in my hips? Can I sit with it and breathe? And we're strong. And now we're going to lift up. You're going to take your hips and your shoulders, so those hippies should already be kind of towards me. But we're going to make sure those shoulders, I want you to hold a couple of bowls of soup, reach out, and then just flip. Now look at your right knee, bend your right knee, and then lift up. So as you bend that right knee, it's going towards your pinky toe side, and then I can see my big toe, but that's it. And I lift up. This is warrior 2. So I bend and come back up. 2 more. Bend. I'm strong. And come back. And 1 more. Bend. Now I'm going to lengthen. You're going to drop your back arm, flip your top hand, and reverse. This is reverse triangle. And feel this beautiful stretch, this line of energy here. Maybe look up towards the ceiling. That's not what's important. Opening your heart. And then we're going to lift up, and you're just going to tick-tock your feet in a little bit back to that goddess, the beginning of goddess stance, okay? So if you wanted to open it a little bit wider, if you needed to narrow it, you know, we can play around. Bring those hands back to Anjali Mudra, and we're coming down into goddess and lifting up. Now I want you to think about your thighs, and as you pull up, you're pulling your thighs up and you're squeezing your tummy the whole time. Pushing those knees out and lifting up. Let's do 3 more. Down and up, and maybe it feels a little looser in there. How does that space feel? It might feel vulnerable, and that's okay. And we're going to hold here. Now the left foot, we turn. The right foot, the toes come to that 45, the heels out. Okay, heel to arch alignment. And then you're going to take your hip. Let me see them. But that knee, all I'm doing is moving in my hip. And it may not feel like a big movement. Your knee is soft. Okay, so we're going to come here, hands are on our hips. We're going to keep this little hip open. We're going to sassy hip, and then come back, keeping those hips open. Good. Sassy hip, heart is open, and back. Sassy hip. Wonderful. Now we find where we would like our hand to go, but never on the knee. And maybe we lift the arm up. And it's a big, it's like a fan, like you're just saying, look, I'm strong. You know, the triangle is one of the strongest shapes and geometry. You are strong. Breathing in your triangle. And then we're gonna lift up. We're making sure our your hips and your shoulders are like little headlights that are shining at me, I'm shining at you. Hold your bowls of soup, drop down, look at that left knee, bend it. Okay, I can see my big toe come up. I bend again, it's my knee is going towards my pinky toe side. My back leg is strong as well. I'm bending, warrior two, and lifting, squeezing those thighs, bending. This time we'll hold it, we'll flip that top arm, and we'll reverse our triangle. Super long line of energy. Express, open. Feel in your heart, maybe some heaviness, and just let it go. It's like it's just raining off of your back hand here. And then we're just going to lift up, and you're going to turn those feet, and you're going to just tick-tock, shake everything out. Wonderful. All right, so you're going to face the top of your mat for me. And I'm not going to say right from left because I want to do it so you can see it. So we're going to do both sides. So I'll just make sure to say switch sides. You'll be totally fine. So we're going to take one leg and we're going to step it way back on our mat. And we're going to make sure we're wearing a high heel back there. So our heel is lifted. And we're on a railroad track here. Our front knee is bent. And this is crescent pose. Hands are on the hips. I want you to lengthen your leg. And then bend. And then lengthen. And then bend. And then lengthen. Now we're going to hold the bend. You should still be able to see your big toe. And then feel like your hips, your headlights, make sure you turn them on. So you got to kind of tuck your back, tuck your tail a little bit to shine your headlights. And maybe you lift the arms up. The hands can always stay at the heart center as well. Crescent pose. Breathe in. Now as you breathe out, you're starting to shift from your hips forward. Reach your arms back. And I want you to think about your neck here, your throat chakra, where we communicate our needs, where we bargain for our loss. Inhale, lift up to crescent. And as you breathe out, think about that and exhale strong, releasing. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, release. One more, breathe in. And breathe out. So back here is dragonfly. Then we're gonna lift up. Now you're gonna squeeze your legs and you're gonna step your back foot to meet your front foot. Bring your hands to your hips. And we're shifting feet. So now the other foot steps back. We have our high heel on. That top knee is bent. We're gonna bend it more and then lengthen it. So we're bending. I can see my big toe. Extending. Back heel, keep it lifted. Bending and extending. This bend we're gonna hold. Hips. Tuck your tail, shine your headlights. Hands to heart center or lifting. Hold and breathe, you're strong. Thinking about what we want to communicate. And as we exhale, we bring the hands back, lean forward in dragonfly. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, dragonfly. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, dragonfly. Two more, I think. Breathe in. And breathe out. And this one we're going to, that was it. Come forward and then step your back foot to your front foot. Bring your hands to your heart center. One hand to heart, one hand to belly. Close your eyes. Feel your heartbeat. The sweat on your skin. The deepness of your breath. Feel. Be here. Be with the emotions of loss. You're safe. And it's okay to let go. It's okay to forgive. It's okay to scream. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to not accept. You're not there yet. And I'm just going to face you again in the mountain pose. And so will you. You'll face me too. And we're gonna open back up to goddess. So now we're gonna kind of put this together. And then I'll see where we're at with time and maybe we'll flow it. So hands are coming to the heart. Remember, toes are faced out, toes are in. And we're gonna do everything 3 times. So we're gonna go down into goddess for 3. Lift up. Can you go lower? Open up those knees for 2. And lift. And going down. And lift. So now our right toes come out. Our left heel goes out. You're gonna open here for me. Sassy hip. Reach and hold. Triangle for 3 breaths. Open your heart for 2. And for 1. You're gonna squeeze those legs, lift up, bend that top knee. We're in warrior 2. Your headlights of your shoulders and your hips are facing me, but you are gazing over your middle tip. Just 1 more breath. Lengthen, flip, reversing your triangle. Exalt and breathe. Open your heart even if it feels like you don't want to. And then come back up. Now we're going to crescent pose. So your back foot is going to, and your hips are going to turn. You put your high heel on your back foot. We lift our hands and we bend that top knee. And then we come into dragonfly. Exhale. 3. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, 2. Breathe in, lift. Exhale, 1. Breathe in, lift, and you're going to open up to goddess. Bring the hands, and here we go. Coming down for 3. Open up, push those knees back. For 2. Lift. And for 1. Lift up. So now the left toes turn, right heels out. Let me see everything. And then sassy your hip. Reach. We're coming into our triangle. Open. Let everything just fall out. Breathe for 2. Breathe for 1. Lift up. Bend that top knee. Remember, your knee's going to your baby pinky toe side. You can see your big toe. Square those hips and shoulders. Gaze. Just 1 more breath. Lengthen the leg. Flip your palm. Reverse your triangle. Extend. Exalt. Release and open. And then we're coming up and we're turning our hips. We put on our back high heel. We bend that front knee. We lift our arms up and then we breathe out dragonfly. Breathe in. What do you need to get rid of? Breathe in. 1 more time. Breathe it out. And lift it up. Your back foot comes to meet your front. And hand to heart, hand to belly. Close eyes and breathe. Scan your body from the top of the head to the tip of the toe. Let's think about the root. Our sacral, our hips. How are we feeling more grounded? Are we still feeling severed? That's okay. Are we still feeling anger, guilt, or shame? Are we tapping into forgiveness? Has the ego followed on to practice? Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I don't know. Is it getting in the way? Oh, I just can't take it and just all my grief for it. I don't know who I am anymore. You are always you, no matter what. I know it's hard. In your heart space, does it feel heavy? Does it feel sad? Can you open the heart? Can you let the tears flow? Can you express that grief as love? And the throat chakra. Can you say what needs to be said, even if it's just to yourself? Scream, shout, whatever you need to do. And now the third eye, that spot in between the eyebrows, tuning in there, our third eye chakra, our intuition. This is where we're trying to find meaning in all of this grief and loss. And sometimes it doesn't make sense, and sometimes it'll never make sense. And it's the knowing of healing within. everything that we've done today. And release. Now I'm going to face you, and you can face me. And now we're going to put everything together into one last, final, powerful balancing pose, tree pose. So we're going to put all of our weight onto our right foot, and the knee is soft, okay? We're going to come up onto those left toe tips, or right toe tips. I don't know my left from my right now, but we're opening, just do as I do, right? Opening that knee from the knee joint. So your knee was here, tiptoes are here. My hips are level, heart is open. You can stay here. You could slide that foot up to your calf. You could slide it, but it's never at the knee joint. You can even pick it up and put it in between, resting on the thigh. You need to do what works best for you and bring your hands to heart center. And it's okay if you're wibbling and wobbling, because trees move in the wind and we have to move through our grief. Feel yourself rooted down all the way to the center of the earth. Feel that energy lift up. It's building up. It's red, it's orange, it's yellow, it's green, it's blue, it's violet, and it's a beautiful white light. One more breath and release. Shake it and let it go. If you fell down, smile, it's okay. Now we're just going to switch sides. So since I can't remember what side I called it the last, it was wrong, right? We're nice and rooted, that knee's slightly bent. We're on those tippy toes and we just open up. And right here is perfect, okay? It might be different from this side, from the other side. And that's okay too, because our right and our left is different, okay? You can keep the hands at your heart, or if it feels good, I want you to grow branches, and I just want you to feel everything lift up and release and feel this beautiful light coming down from the sky into the crown of your head, giving you this healing energy. And then you can feel that come all the way down, and it's a beautiful bright light, and it's indigo, purple, my goodness, and it's blue, and it's green, and it's yellow, and it's orange, and it's red. And it connects you to the earth. As above, so below. I don't know my colors today, y'all. And then release down. It's just like a real class. It would be the exact thing I would do if you were practicing with me for real. And you just shake it out. And I just want you to, again, to just stand, hand on the heart, hand on the belly, close the eyes or soft gaze down, and feel what you feel. Do you notice any shifts at all? And you may not practicing it one time. You may do this practice a couple of times to be able to move through wherever you're stuck. And then just release. And we're just going to come down to seated. And you can sit up on a block or a blanket, towel, whatever you got. We're just sitting up nice and tall. Breathing here. And if you have oils and you want to use them to close your practice, you can. Remember, you never have to. Breathing in and breathing out. 2 more, breathing in and breathing out. 1 more time, breathing in and breathing out. And then just take your legs, extend them into that diamond shape, just like we did at the beginning of practice. But this time you get to let your back round and you just get to hang over here. Just relax and release. Let everything kind of drip down off the crown of the head. Relax your neck, give it a shake. Let the hips relax, let the shoulders relax. Make sure there's a space in between the teeth. And then rolling yourself up, using your hands to bring your knees together. And then you're just going to come down to lie. So if you'd like to fire up, you know, you liked that kind of fire feeling, you can lower down super slow, you know, engage the core, hold on, whatever you like to do, sort of like reverse boat to the ground, or you can gently lower yourself. So it's up to you. There's no judgment. And then you're just gonna hang out, see how everything is shifted here. Bring your arms out like a giant T, and your palms can be facing up or down, just whatever feels best to you. And let your knees fall to the right. And wherever they are is perfect. It's just a gentle, gentle twist here. And coming back to center. And then off to the other side, gentle twist. And coming back to center. And then just pull your knees in towards your belly. And you can see if it feels good to pull them in wide towards your armpits or narrow. Doesn't matter. And then if it feels okay, you're going to lift up and you're going to squeeze yourself in this tiny ball. It's like you're giving yourself the biggest hug maybe you've given yourself in a long time. And then as you breathe out, we come into Shavasana, relaxation pose. So the legs are probably as wide as the mat, and you let the feet just relax. Shoulder blades tucked underneath, your arms just open up and fall to the side. Maybe the fingertips curl in. Close the eyes if it feels comfortable. And we're just going to be here. Just a few deep breaths. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe kind of nod your head from side to side, roll. And then bending the knees one at a time. Lengthen an arm overhead, and then you're just going to roll onto your side. And if it feels okay, connect your forehead down to the ground. Tapping back into that third eye. Your inner knowing, your intuition will tell you what you need to feel. And allowing the energy to flow from the top into the crown chakra and all the way through to support your healing. And then just take your time. You're going to come up to a seat and close your eyes. And just think about, I don't know how you feel, you know, and what shifted. And this practice is here to support you as many times as you need. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra, bringing your thumbs to your heart center and nodding the chin down. Thanking yourself for taking this time just for you today to support your loss that you're going through, that will always be with you. And I am here for you, and this space is here for you. And I thank you so much in Metta, my friends. And I can't wait to see you at our next practice.